My question, do you think that you have the right to consent to 65-year-old men looking at your son while he's naked?
I wouldn't allow it.
Do you think
That's
that
my
you have the
responsibility as a
right
father.
Do you think that you have the right to allow it?
I can break the fever.
Dean Withers. We got this person, young Democrat, looking for a viral moment, trying to gaslight his audience or his speaker into believing or thinking that they said a particular thing. Believing that he's never wrong in any situation, only to find out that he is indeed wrong in this particular situation. Welcome to my channel, where the only thing that matters is my opinion.
Thousands of people on the right are calling me a predator and telling me to myself after sticking up for children's safety when talking to a husband and wife who think parents have the right to exploit their children.
It is a curse.
If you look at some of the comments that his followers have made, it just makes me realize how, one, stupid, and two, extremely slow and sensitive people can be when it comes to the idea of sexual exploitation.
Can you answer my question? Do you think that you have the right to consent to 65-year-old men looking at your son while he's naked?
I wouldn't allow it.
Do you think
That's
that
my
you have the
responsibility as a
right?
father.
Do you think that you have the right to allow it? Do you think if you did allow it, that you would be violating the consent of your child?
They have no choice in the matter whatsoever. It's my decision as the parent. And I wouldn't put my kid in that situation. That's why I think pageants are weird in the first place. I would never.
The boy has been cursed.
And of course, people should be sensitive when it comes to those type of things, especially when it's being done to people that are not able to give consent. But sometimes you can be so sensitive about an issue that you're not able to think critically anymore. You may be so sensitive that you may want the good or the best thing to happen, but you can be easily tricked by somebody that tries to gaslight you and use your emotions for your own downfall.
I think that you don't deserve to have any custodial rights of your child. So, for those watching, their handle is goatman91096.
Fine. It's fine. Nothing I said was wrong.
Okay,
I just said that the kid doesn't get to make the decision.
What's your name?
I would never put them in that situation.
Okay, what's your name?
And why are you trying to dox people, dude? That's weird.
Because I want to find who you are so I could call CPS and have them take your child away from you.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure you would like to try to do that.
Yes, I would.
This is just an area of common sense. No emotions, no sentiments. Of course, no rational human being wants to see a sweet, innocent child get hurt, right? And at the same time, whose job is it to make sure that a child is protected from the predators or the vultures of this world? The first area of responsibility falls to the parents. Now, of course, not everybody that is a parent is meant to be a parent, right?
Of course!
Not all parents have done a good job with raising their children or protecting them or preparing them for the world that they are indeed born into. But it doesn't change the fact that most of us, good or bad, get things from our parents or get things in reaction to what our parents have done to us or what our parents have exposed us to.
And what was your first response to that?
Did the parents give consent? Did they allow it?
Precisely. I don't think that a parent can allow for their underage teen to be on.
You don't think, or that's the law? There's a difference. There's a huge difference. What's the law?
Wait, are you... So I no, that's actually not the law. It is.
What is the law, Dean? What is the age of consent? What is the law?
We're talking about teenagers under 18 here.
Right, and they don't have the legal authority to make that consent. So whose responsibility is it then? Who is it? Is it God? It's not God. Who is it?
So the child can't consent to sex, and the parent can't consent to the child having sex.
So where does the consent fall? Because
nobody.
When you go to the doctor's office.
Wait for a second. I gotta ask a question. Have you all subscribed to this channel yet? I know you are enjoying this video, so make sure you subscribe so we can fly. Now, back to the video. And for those of us that didn't have parents, the environment that we came from did that for us. And not everything is black and white. Some people had terrible parents, other people had good parents. Some people had terrible environments, other people had good environments. Some people had great parents, but just raised in a terrible environment where their parents could not really do the best protection that they could have done. Some didn't even have parents, but got raised by great people or adopted parents. So everybody comes from something, but to imply that a child can consent is utterly stupid. How many of us grew up to think that something was normal simply because we saw our parents do it or our parents told us that it wasn't a big deal? And some of us, even while we were kids, or some of us even right now in our young adult ages, we think that some things are stupid only to realize that no, the people that were ahead of us in terms of age were actually right because we didn't have those same life experiences that they had. The majority of those rights being implemented comes from the family or the parents that are in the lives of that particular child. Parents send their children to school because they want their children to go to school. They want their kids to be educated. Parents feed their child because they want their child to be well fed.
When kids go on field trips, who's signing the papers? Because it's not the child.
In that clip, I said, and I quote, "I don't think a parent can allow their underage teen to be on." And then we heard both the husband and wife argue that I'm wrong, and that consent falls on the parent.
Now, we're in a country where parents are not doing their job. There are resources to call upon to substitute the roles of parents in that particular child. But there are third world countries where if parents don't do their job, or if parents choose to do something or put their child in some unfavorable circumstances, there's nothing that anybody can do. Because at the end of the day, the health of the child primarily depends on the parents. Now, we can all agree that not everything that a parent chooses to do to or for their child is right. That's not the area of contention. The area of contention is consenting, which is 18 by legal standards, comes down to an individualistic perspective. I'm an adult, so I can consent for myself, because I should have the prerequisite knowledge to know what is good, what is bad. And let me tell you something, not because you're an adult doesn't automatically means that you know what's good or bad. So how much more will a child know what is good or bad? Especially when most things that children like are bad. If you leave the average child to their own devices with no guidance or anything, most of the children in this world, or most of us, will end up making terrible decisions. Now, that's not saying that if you give the right of a child to consent, they may not choose the right decisions. It's just saying that most children will end up doing things that are not healthy for them. Most children like candy. They will feed on candy to the point where it's not healthy anymore. Most children don't like to go to school. Most children don't like good things for themselves. But because we're in a society where we've been cultured and been raised to understand that doing what's healthy may not always be nice, as adults, we have the knowledge and the capacity to make a decision, the best decision, the right decision, even though we may not like what we're doing. At the end of the day, this is somebody that is sensitive to a particular issue when it comes to sexual exploitation. And that doesn't mean that he's a bad person. It just means that he's wrong, or he doesn't really see the real points of the person that he's communicating with is trying to say. As long as when it comes to this type of topics, everybody needs to be sensitive to it, but also everybody also needs to be a critical thinker when it comes to these things. Or else you're just going to be a victim of your own decision making, even though your heart was in the right place. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.